What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about It, Welcome to Derry. In this video here today, this will be the recap for episode 2 of Welcome to Derry. If you're listening to this right now, that means, of course, the episode has now aired on HBO Max, HBO, however you've watched it, and we've now hit 10 o'clock at night, Eastern Time. So we're going to dive into the recap. Episode 2 picks up with Lily having a nightmare about the theater attack where her friends died at the end of the pilot. We're then shown 2 cops sitting outside Ronnie's place discussing what happened at the theater. It looks like Ronnie's dad is being blamed for the attack. Ronnie overhears her dad arguing with her grandma, and the dad notices and reminds her that everything will be okay. Harlan is shown sitting on his front porch, enjoying the newspaper as his son, Will, and wife Charlotte pull into the driveway. His wife notices he's injured while trying to hug him, so he discusses the attack on the base very briefly. Will is shown upstairs discovering a telescope that his father got him, and they have a brief conversation about it in his bedroom. Later that night, Charlotte checks on Hanlon's injury and says she doesn't like being apart, so he jokingly says, "A part of what?" They share a laugh, and then we jump to the high school the next morning, seeing Marge approaching a group of girls known as the Patty Cakes. They all notice Ronnie returning to school and discuss if she knows where the bodies of the boys are. In a classroom, Lily is shown sitting nervously while Marge tries to check in on her since they haven't really talked since the theater incident. Lily says she's okay, but Marge keeps pushing for communication. Marge tries to warn her about communicating with Ronnie since it could jeopardize their link with the Patty Cakes, but Lily says screw their connection with the Patty Cakes. Will arrives late to class, and the teacher warns him about being tardy. As he goes to take his seat, some boys move his chair so that he can hit the floor below, which he does. At the base, Hanlon discovers Masters is the one who attacked him, but they still need to know the identity of the other two. Charlotte is shown walking the streets of Derry. She passes the closed theater, notices some boys, past an alley, buys flowers, and then stops at the meat shop. While ordering, she noticed some boys outside beating up another child. She runs out to stop them, but that does no good, and she gets these awkward and very uncomfortable stares. Later at dinner, she tells Hanlon and Will about her day and asks Will if he met any bullies at school. Will asks to be excused, and this upsets Charlotte. Later that night at Ronnie's, she's in bed trying to sleep, but her dad and grandma are arguing. She goes under the bed covers trying to escape that noise and ultimately starts to drown before crawling out of the sheets. When she looks back, we see that Ronnie has actually just escaped her mother's womb. The umbilical cord starts to reel Ronnie back in, and her dad eventually comes in to comfort her. Now, my takeaway from this scene is that Ronnie seemingly blames herself for her mom's passing because I guess she died after giving birth to Ronnie. At a bar, we see Dick Halloran enjoying a drink with friends. The chief of police, Clint Bowers, comes in for a drink, and 2 men interrogate him about arresting Ronnie's dad. They warn him to do his job, or next election they'll vote someone who will. Halloran and his friends leave and return to base. The next day, Halloran is at a dig site having a stern conversation with one of his superiors. At school, Lily gets her lunch but decides to not sit with Marge and the Patty Cakes. Ronnie comes in telling Lily they need to talk. The Patty Cakes notice and ask Marge what Lily is doing hanging with her. Marge jokes, and then we cut back to Ronnie telling Lily about the attack in her bedroom last night and how she's worried about her dad's safety. Lily is afraid to tell too much of the truth to the police because she doesn't want to go back to the nut house, but Ronnie says something needs to be done or her dad is in trouble. Ronnie's language gets her in trouble with a teacher overhearing the conversation. Will is shown eating lunch in the hallway, reading 101 Scientific Facts. I think that's what he said the name of the book is. A kid named Rich notices him and warns him to run as a smoke bomb or something is tossed his way. Will runs into a staff member, which results in him getting in trouble and sent to detention. Ronnie and Will share detention together. She's shown pacing and tells Will she's here for cussing, and unlike him, she's not so innocent. She owns up to cussing and says she's guilty as hell, actually. Will starts yapping about a bunch of weird things. Ronnie's words, not mine. They look out the window and notice cops taking Lily to the chief of police, Bowers. He theorizes in his office to Lily that maybe Lily had something to do with it if Ronnie's dad wasn't there like she claims. Bauer says she's going back to the nut house, and Lily becomes flustered. He re-asks the question for Lily to incriminate Ronnie's dad. Later that night, Ronnie's dad is arrested, and she's left with her grandmother. Ronnie goes to Lily's house and asks, "What did you say to the police?" Lily says nothing and that they tricked her. The next day at base, Hanlon visits Masters. He interrogates Masters because he pulled his file and doesn't believe Masters attacked him in that room. Hanlon later goes to see General Shaw to tell him Masters is innocent and his confession is a lie. Hanlon eventually sits down in the general's office, and the general compliments him for his bravery and reveals that the attack was just a test. He then proceeds to talk Hanlon out of reporting him. Lily is shown stopping by the local grocery store. As she shops, the adults around her start acting weird. One guy keeps following her, and we hear whispers of, "You should be locked up, you're insane," etc. Lily comes across an aisle of cornflakes with her dead friends on the front of the box, but when she runs, the aisles close in on her. A very unnerving sequence with a jar of pickles occur. Obviously, no one else sees this, so Lily just looks crazy to all of the spectators. At the base, Hanlon and General Shaw discuss a counter to the Soviet threat, a weapon they are searching for in Derry. It generates fear, enough to kill a man where he stands. Now, this has to be Pennywise, or the shapeshifter, of course. They don't know where it came from or how it works, but they want Hanlon's help to secure it. Lily is shown being taken back to the nut house very briefly, and then we cut back to Hanlon, Halloran, and the General gathering at the dig site, unearthing a terrifying discovery. Now, this is another great episode. The grocery store sequence was my absolute favorite part of the episode. I dug how paranoid that moment felt. We're slowly getting somewhere with the Air Force subplot, and the tension between Ronnie and Lily because of the theater incident kept getting heightened in all the right ways. Another solid round of performances from everyone involved. It's tackling the race issues in a very intense way without lecturing the audience. Exceptionally paced once again. This was longer than the pilot, and I could hardly tell until I checked the time. Everything was allowed to breathe and resonate with you as a viewer. This show is just firing on all cylinders. I'm not going to say it was as scary as the pilot, because it wasn't, but it did have some more intense moments like the pilot did. None as nearly intense and as visceral as the end of the pilot. But Welcome to Derry, if it keeps this up, this is going to end up being one of my favorite shows that has been released this year. Not that I've watched too many new shows this year, but it's just been a minute since a show has had me in this much of a chokehold. If you heard my video earlier this week, you know what I mean. This show is just so good. Episode 2, another solid week of TV when it comes to Welcome to Derry. I cannot wait to see episode 3 when it arrives on HBO next Sunday at this point. Actually, I'll be watching these episodes every Thursday, and I'll have my recap still every Sunday. What was your favorite moment from Welcome to Derry episode 2? Let me know all that down in the comment section below. Did you enjoy episode 2 more than episode 1? Or did you not enjoy episode 2 more than episode 1, but you still acknowledge that episode 2 retained your attention and you look forward to episode 3? Also, all the big Jeep fans out there, y'all ain't got to say it, but I know y'all got a kick out of the end credit song. I know y'all got a kick out of it. I know there are some Jeepers Creepers fans out there who enjoyed hearing that song in the end credits. I like that. That was a nice touch. Let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Turn on post notifications every time this video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.